Hey everybody, this is Kyle and I'm making this video to show you how to create digital signatures within Bluebeam. As we're making this transition to remote work, we're changing our time card process to go completely digital because we don't have a printer. So the traditional of what we were doing, we're printing it off, physically signing it, handing it off to Lily. That's just not going to cut it. So so right now, you know, right now we're creating the PDFs, but the one thing that we don't have is a way to sign it. So what I've worked on is developing a way that we can sign it, and Bluebeam has a great tool for us to use. So up here underneath the toolbars, if you go to Tools, Signature, there's a button here that says Sign Document. When I click that, the cursor is going to change to a crosshair, and it's going to ask me to draw an area where I want to sign the document. So I'm just going to click and drag this box next to Employee Signature, where I traditionally sign my time card before I hand it off to Lily. So when I let go, it's going to create a field, and it brings up this pop-up asking, what do I want to use for my digital ID? I'm going to choose this second one here, create digital ID file, because I haven't done it before, and I'm going to fill out all the information in this identity section. So underneath name, I'm going to put my name, Kyle Anderson. Organizational unit, I'm not going to put anything because at MOP we're a small company and we really don't have departments at this point, so there's really no need to have an organizational unit. Under organization name, I'm going to put the company's name, so MOP Consulting. And underneath email address, I'm going to put my work email address. So I'm putting all my information for my signature, and yours, you're going to put your information, so your name and your email address. I'm going to leave these three drop downs the same, just because we are in the United States. That's the country that's already selected. Usage, you've got three options here. I'm choosing this bottom one because I can use it for digital signatures and data encryption. I don't really need to have two separate signatures for either one of them. And this key algorithm, we're not too worried about encrypted data, so we'll just keep it that 1024-bit RSA. This final section, it's going to ask me to create a password to protect my digital ID. So you can choose something that you might remember. In my case, I like to use a password generator. You go to passwordsgenerator.net. It generates a randomized password for me that I just copy, paste in, and then I save it in a notepad so I can remember it for future use. That's just a preference that I have for all my passwords. So I'll hit OK, and the next thing it's going to ask me to do is, after I've created the digital ID, is to sign documents. So underneath digital ID, if I click on this drop down, there's a section here that's Kyle Anderson. I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that this box down here filled out with a preview of what I'm going to see. It's got my name, it's got a digitally signed by me, what country, US, my email address, my organization, and a reason why I'm signing this document, along with a time and a date and a time. So all of this information is loaded into the signature. So anybody else looking over this in the future knows that I signed this on this date and this time, and here are the reasons why. Under reason, we've got several reasons. I think the best one for us is I attest to the accuracy and integrity of this document. This is your time card. You're saying that, you know what, these are the hours that I worked, and these are the reasons why I worked those hours. I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to ask me to save a copy. I save all of my time cards in my personal files just so I have them for future use. So I'm going to save, and you're going to see that up here in this right corner, that same preview shows up. So if we wanted to see this on the back end on the security side, we can go over to the left-hand part of the screen, and there's an icon of the tip of a fountain pen drawing a line. That is the signatures palette button. So I'm going to open up that, and it lets me know any of the signatures that have been put on this document. And if I want to expand it, it gives me some additional information. If yours has a green ribbon with a, there might be an exclamation point to it, it means that your signature hasn't been validated. And here underneath it will say signature is not valid. If that's the case, you can click this button up here, and that validates the signature. And it should update this to a ribbon with this green check mark, so your screen should look like mine. So a big reason why I'm showing you this section is because, say Mike or Lily is going through this and they're making notes as to the time that they've already captured. So perhaps they're doing that through the highlighting tool. So they decided to highlight something. You'll see that over here, this ribbon changed, and it changed to yellow with an exclamation point. So what just happened is it changed to say signatures not verified. If I hit this validate signatures, it's going to pop back. That's my check to say, okay, I highlighted this, I did this. So if I save this document, you'll see that it changes the screen with a green exclamation point, but it gives me some history. So I highlighted this, but it says the document has been updated since signed. And if we wanted, we could go back to review the signed version. So not only does the signature give us, your name, a date and a time, but if any changes are made, there's always a copy in the background to protect, the integrity of the document that you put forward. This is a process that we're going to be using from this point forward. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right.